Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my February 2023 anticipated releases. So you guys, there is a lot coming out in February that I'm really excited about. Like publishing, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it takes like September, October, November are kind of Christmassy focused and like it's slowing down for sure. December is really slow. January's kind of amping back up, and now February, it is full blown, lots of good stuff coming out. So let's just get into it. I'm going to go in the order that they are going to be published according to either Goodreads or NetGalley. Some of you have asked where I find these, and a lot of them I find on NetGalley. So if you don't know what NetGalley is, it is a website that you can go and you don't have to have any sort of platform or anything. You can just go and sign up to review early copies of books. Most of them are like Kindle version, ebook version. Some they've added audiobooks now. So you can see it's a really good way to gauge what's coming out. And that's where I get a lot. And then also just like different, if you Google search, you can get a ton of different book blogs and things that do anticipated releases as well. So I just kind of mix and match from a bunch of different places and find all the things that I'm interested in. I also am on like quite a few publishers email lists. So not that I like get review copies, but I get emailed like, hey, here's what's coming. If you want to order a copy, let's do it. So let's just get into it. So the first publishing day is February 2nd. Books are normally released on a Tuesday, but some of these are not Tuesdays, so I don't know. But February 2nd, The One That Got Away by Charlotte Rixon. So this is some of my favorite tropes altogether. There's not a lot of romance on this list just because I'm really finding that I'm not in the romance mood unless it's like a hard-hitting romance. And that's been kind of a thing for the past few months for me. So, but this is a romance about young lovers coming back together. I think it's 20 years later. For whatever reason, they broke up, and now there's been a bombing in the city that they grew up in. And so they're coming back together, and after 20 years, and I think it's second chance. Now, she is married, and so I hope this is done well. I don't know. It has the potential to be really, really good, but it also has the potential to be really like cringy and cheating strong, which is not something I love. So hopefully it's a good one. Next is The Younger Woman by Mandy Byatt, maybe Byatt. A couple is struggling with fertility, and they finally get pregnant, I think, and then they go on like a birthday trip for the husband or something, and the wife discovers the body of a young woman who looks very similar to her in this cabin. So did her husband do it? I don't really know. Next is February 7th, Just My Type by Falon Ballard. And this one I think is interesting because the synopsis gives me How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days vibes. That's not like on the blurb, so maybe I'm completely off base, but it's about two exes that are both working on a newspaper, and they are competing to get like this column position or whatever. And he has to write, like, she's newly single. She's like a chronic dater. She's always been in a relationship, and she's writing about like how to be single and embrace it. He, on the other hand, is writing about how to settle down and be a good partner. And whichever article wins gets the column position. And it's, again, a second chance romance because they are exes. And it sounds good to me, especially like in the publishing world. I like books set in the publishing world. I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. She works in the publishing world. I like it. I really want to read it. Next is 1 Month of You by Suzanne Ewart. You guys, I just said there's not a lot of romance, and then like all of these are romance. But this is about a woman with Huntington's disease. So I read, I think it was a Lisa Genova book about Huntington's disease, and it's like so fascinating. So she has Huntington's disease, so she kind of holds everybody at a distance, doesn't want to get too attached because she knows that the future may be rough for her. And so this guy is loves her, like into her, and he's like, let's do 1 month together and see what happens. And so that sounds good. Sounds like the stakes are going to be high. Sounds like it could be really emotional, but really good. Next is The Stranger in Our House by Sarah A. Denzil, something like that. A family moves into a lake house. Like, they are just kind of escaping wherever they live. They're going to go live in a lake house, and the teenage boy goes missing in the woods. And I think he's gone for like 3 days or something, and he comes back completely different. And he's a troubled young boy. He's violent. He's not like, he's getting into a lot of trouble. He's harsh. He's cruel. It's just, who is this guy and what happened to him in those 3 days? He won't tell. So it's trying to figure that out. Next is Every Missing Girl by Leanne Kale Sparks. And so this is about serial killings or kidnappings, I believe. Serial kidnappings in the Rocky Mountains. And it's a FBI detective or like agent and like a Denver homicide police, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. I think it gets personal for one of them, like one of their sisters or something goes missing. Sounds like the Rockies at this like time, especially I'm looking out the window and there's snow. I mean, not a lot. We got a dusting, but it feels good to like be reading about things in the Rockies, and it just feels like an extra level of creepy when you can look outside and you're like, ooh, yikes. So good time for it. Next is Looking for Jane by Heather Marshall. So this is a debut by a Canadian author. And so I just feel like it's always bonus when you find an author that is not American or British. I feel like every author is American or British. So she's a Canadian author, and this is about 3 women whose lives are bound together by like a secret network of women fighting for the right to choose pro-life or pro-choice or, whatever. It deals a lot with abortion, I believe. So trigger warning there. And it's inspired by true stories and it is told in timelines. My gosh, I cannot get words out. It is told in 3 different timelines. The 3 women are in 2017, 1971 and 1980. And so all the different perspectives throughout that time about what's going on. I don't know if this is set in Canada or not, but I also don't know. I think this might be a reprint. I think this may have been published before and now is being republished either under a different publisher or something. I'm not really sure, but it still sounds intriguing to me. Next is February 12th, You Are Not Alone by G.M. Lawrence. And this is about a girl, a main character whose name is Chloe. And that always makes me like want to read a book just because, I don't know, I think it's fun to see my name in a book. But then this guy, she is like, I think newly single again, gives this guy her number and then he becomes really stalkery. So that's all I really know. That's fine. That's enough. Again, having my name in it is like part of the appeal. Next is February 20th, The Housemaid's Secret by Freida McFadden. So The Housemaid is a wildly popular book right now, I feel like, by Freida McFadden. And it is about this housemaid who goes into this house and nothing is as it seems. Well, this is the Housemaid's Secret. It is the follow-up. I believe it follows the same main character, maybe. And she goes into this house and a husband hires her and says, like, this is a locked room. Don't go in there. Don't worry about it. Well, she finds out that the wife is in there, and one day she goes in, and what she sees changes everything. And I think there's a lot of abuse going on, so she maybe goes for revenge for the husband. I don't really know, but I liked The Housemaid a lot, and so I'm excited to read the next one. Next is February 21st, and we've got The Little Wartime Library by Kate Thompson. So this is based on a true story of a woman who created like an underground, like sanctuary kind of shelter during World War II in London. And I imagine there's a library down there. I imagine it's bookish, maybe not, but just the idea of this woman having the audacity and like the ability and bravery to do that sounds intriguing. Next is The Writing Retreat by Julie Bartz. So I don't know a whole lot about this, and I don't really want to. This is, I think, a debut, too, about a month-long writing retreat for this group of authors. It's in the home of, like, a horror novelist, and I think there's 2 people, like, maybe there are 2 rivals going to see who can get this publishing deal, and things turn sinister. I don't really know. Sounds atmospheric. Cover looks atmospheric. I don't know. Sounds good, and I know all that I need to know. Next is Gone by Ruby Speechley. This is another kind of vague one. A teenage son goes missing, and he we don't know what's going on with him, as well as there was a lot of resentment against his mother because she has a new boyfriend. So we don't know really who we can trust. And I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to read it. I feel like that's what I'm going to say about all of these is like, I'm excited to read it. Librarian of Burned Books by Brianna Labuskes, maybe. This takes place in 3 different timelines as well. It's Berlin in 1933, Paris in 1936, and New York City in 1944. So, it's about 3 women. It says 3 women who believe in the power of books to triumph over the very darkest moments of war, and it's inspired by the true story of the Council of Books in Wartime, which is an organization to prevent like censoring that happened a lot during the war. So I'm excited to see how all those different places and perspectives come together. And then next is February 27th. Nobody Puts Romcoms in the Corner by Kathryn Freeman. So this is about a couple of people who reenact the Dirty Dancing lift, and the video goes viral, I guess. And so then they start like, I don't know if it's YouTube, TikTok, I don't know what it is, Instagram, I don't know, but about recreating all these different famous rom-com moments. So it sounds super cute. And like, I love rom-coms. I love Nora Ephron movies. And so hopefully there's a lot of those. And I feel like it'll be entertaining. Next is The Mother Next Door by Leah Mercer. So, like a lot of these are cover grabs. I mean, I'm not really actually grabbing them, but cover, and like I'm anticipating the cover. It looks good just based on the cover. And this one has the tagline of "You trusted her with your children, but now they're gone." And it's about, I'm sure like a carpool situation that they never bring their kids back. And you guys, I have had like literal dreams about this of like, my kids are with somebody else and they go missing. Like, what does that say about me? I have trust issues and control issues. I'm sure that's what it says. But for some reason, like, I don't know if this is a good book for me to read, because I feel like I've read this before where like somebody's supposed to bring somebody home and they never do, and yikes. The last one is It's One of Us by JT Ellison. So JT Ellison is an author that I have liked multiple books from, and this one sounds so intriguing. So it's about a couple. She's an interior designer or something. Her and her husband are struggling with fertility, going through IVF, all that kind of stuff. And then they get a call that the suspect in a murder is her husband's son. And it comes out that her husband has donated sperm in the past, and now it's his offspring that may or may not have just committed a bunch of murders. And she's like, how hard can I be on him when I've got my own secrets? I don't know. Sound like that premise is very intriguing and sounds twisty. And like I said, I kind of trust JT Ellison, so I'm going to pick it up regardless. So those are all the books that I'm anticipating for February. I feel like I went through them really quickly, but there are a lot. Let me know if I'm sure I missed a ton. So let me know what I missed, if any of these sound intriguing to you. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.